Hey, how's it going, guys? People who might watch this video, I probably haven't come out with a name for this channel just yet, but probably have to do something with loneliness or something like that, social anxiety or depression, male problems, problems with society and fitting in and being socially anxious, something like that. I don't really have a name yet, but I'll give a bit of information about myself. I'm be posting more videos about this kind of topic, and what I like to do is when I usually have a hard time talking about this stuff, but when I'm driving around, usually it's my zen time, and I can kind of collect my thoughts and think about stuff, and it's like the best way for me to communicate. But it's a kind of like therapeutic, just driving around. And it's a really nice day out where I am. So yeah, I'm 30 years old, turning 31 this October. Every time I think about that, I cringe, It's kind of like 31, like people, who kind of feel left back in life. They feel like, people who feel they're getting older, like, they're getting closer to death, right? So it's a normal thing to have, that you think you're getting closer to death, right? And the problem is I have the added benefit of like just getting older and not achieving what I want to achieve, and just dealing with depression, social anxiety, loneliness, and all this stuff. And it adds an extra burden, because most people, when you hit 30, you're like, oh shit, man, I only have this much life left. And but some people who hit 30, they have somewhat a good career. Oh shit, sorry, this Corvette I thought was going to take a left kind of scared me. Sorry. They have this career, they have all this stuff. Sorry, I'm checking something. They have this career, or like they're married or have a kid or something like that, or they're in a relationship that they're proud of. There's something going on in their life, even though like, okay, I've hit 30, but I've accomplished a lot, in my life. But the thing is, I haven't accomplished a lot, and I have done some stuff that I'm proud of, but I've honestly just feel like I've been left behind, and it's been tough. It's been a very tough 31 years. I know, I get it. I live in, I don't live in Africa or something, or Asia, where it's like, really bad out there. I live in Canada. I live in the Greater Toronto area. But I'll give a bit of my, story. I will be a 31-year-old virgin. Unless I do something in the next 2 months somehow. But obviously with COVID and Corona, it's hard to do so. Plus, I'm very good at coming up with excuses and stuff like that. If you think this is an incel video, I don't even consider myself an incel. I don't consider myself, maybe I consider myself forever alone. But I don't know if I'll be forever alone, but I don't know, it's just like my habits don't help me become, a better person, and, go out there and, meet more people, take more advantage, socialize. I'm very introverted. I can go days without talking to people, but like I do, obviously, I'm a human being, and human beings, obviously need some sort of social attention. They need some socializing and all that stuff, but my social anxiety has probably caused me to like stop getting close to people. And unfortunately, when I feel very socially anxious, depressed, I kind of isolate myself from everybody. it's a thing that I do. I kind of avoid everybody around me. Got like a avoidant personality disorder probably as well. But it's a thing that I do, I guess. And unfortunately, I did it recently, and now there's a group of friends that I just ignore their text messages, ignore their phone calls, and I've kind of, and they, I think, stopped caring. I don't know if they stopped caring, but yeah, I sent a Facebook message to a friend, and he gave me a thumbs up. He's like, oh, I'm sorry, man, I'm just dealing with this stuff. I'm sorry being a MIA, and he gave me a thumbs up, like, I don't know what that means. That could mean like, oh, fuck you, man, you ignore me. I don't give a fuck. Maybe he doesn't. I just said the message today. But thing is, I've had social anxiety, but I've always been able to make friends for some reason. I always had friends, but like, it's always like out of loneliness. You know what I mean? Sorry, I dropped my phone. It's always been out of loneliness. Like, I didn't want to be alone around people. So I just kind of just made friends with people who would bully me. There's one friend that I just kind of stopped hanging out with recently. He was an old childhood friend, but I remember when I was younger, the game would be to run away from me. That would be the goal. That was like the goal of the friendship, like the group of friends, where they would just say, "Oh, there's Zay, let's run away from him," and like I would cry because nobody wanted to hang out with me, nobody wanted to be my friend. And then eventually I would go back to them, and I was always the butt of the jokes. I was always getting made fun of. I was always like, you know, the weird fucking person. And I guess I just grew up with very low self-esteem. I had ADHD. I think I probably still do, because to this day I still have a hard time keeping a job because I can't focus at work, or I just get ostracized by the people because I'm not friendly. When I am friendly or nice, I get taken advantage of. And I've read some books on that it's not good to be friendly and nice to everybody. It's kind of unhealthy. It comes from like a position of weakness. And again, human beings, people take advantage of that stuff. People who are too friendly, too nice, they take advantage of them, because they know they won't do anything. It's an unhealthy trait to have. So that friend, they would play games, me and my other friend, they would play games where they would run away from each other, run away from me. That was the game, run away from Zaid. And I remember I would cry, and I would tell the teacher, like, why are these people running away from me? And I'm like, oh, now that I realize that was kind of like a bitch move to do. But like, I don't know, I just guess I was just feeling really lonely as a kid, so I just desired to be friends with anybody who would have me around. And that friend continued to bully me all the way into high school. In high school, I had these group of friends that they would just like, I would be the butt of the jokes for everything, but for some reason I just took it. I took everybody's jokes constantly. My middle brother, he was pretty bad as well. He would bully me as well. He would be one making fun of me for liking video games, making fun of everything I did. And it was just, I've kind of repaired my relationship with him recently, because I kind of opened up on how he used to treat me and all that stuff, and how it was really unhealthy, and it gave me very low self-esteem. was unhealthy, and he's like, yeah, I'm sorry, man, I was just a bad person. I was just really bad. I was dealing with he was dealing with his way of dealing with his, like, being out, like, not being able to fit in was just to make fun of other people, and that's how he would feel comfortable and fit in, and I just never, because I knew how it was like to be made fun of and be bullied and stuff like that, so I never felt like I should do that, because I knew how much it made me feel like shit, you know what I mean? And I just didn't like that. I didn't want to be that person. And I wanted to be this person where just, like, it's like that was kind and just, like, help people. And the thing is, when you do that not even getting appreciation from the other person, you just do it out of weakness. People get turned off to that, so it's not healthy. It's not healthy to do that. I'm trying not to do it as much, but again, when you get to 30, you hit too many. Your patterns get set up too much, and it's very hard to get out of them. It takes a very conscious level of change where you have to do it day by day. You have to get rid of all your subconscious ways of thinking. You have to do everything consciously. That, okay, I need to change the way I think right now, of what I'm saying right now. Because subconsciously, your brain will just think of whatever it wants, and it will just, like, say negative things all day without you even noticing. And you'll be like, oh, this is how just my brain thinks around people and how it reacts around everybody. The hell am I? I just started driving. I think I'm in Milton now. Yeah, it seems like a neat place. Yeah, I live in the Greater Toronto area. Yeah, I think I'm in Milton. If there's any Canadian people watching this, just driving. It's a nice summer day. Get used to that. Let me see how long I've been going for. 12 minutes. Okay, I'll keep going. So yeah, So I was born in Saudi Arabia, and I moved to Canada. I'm of Pakistani descent, but I moved to Canada when I was 7 with my family. I have 2 older brothers. One is 38, I think. The other is 33, I think. Yeah. I'm just a great brother. But yeah, everybody who thinks Canada is super friendly and nice, it is. Most people are really fake friendly to you. But people are dicks over here too. People are assholes over here too. People will take advantage of you. Don't think every Canadian is nice. They'll be friendly. They're more polite when you meet them. But once you get to know them, they're just like regular people. They're assholes too. Don't think they're all nice. That stereotype is somewhat true in terms of in the beginning. Well, once you get to know people, they will take it out on you. But yeah, so I grew up. My parents were very Muslim, very Muslim. Sorry, very religious. I think that probably affected me as well as a child. Most likely, yeah. Because I remember when I was growing up, we had to hide. My brothers, I was never getting laid, so my 2 older brothers, they were always hid their relationships, because if they found out that my parents found out that they were in a relationship, they'd get very angry, mad, maybe disown them. So my older brothers, they're very good at getting girls and stuff. They're both very charismatic, not very charismatic, and they don't really understand my problems. They think it's just like, oh, Zay's just doesn't, he's got no problems, he doesn't have anxiety or depression or something, he's just got to get over it. And it's just like, my middle brother just finally just started listening to what I have to say, and women over, yeah. So I never asked them about, I do ask them sometimes about help with, how to talk to women. And they just said, yeah, man, you just have to do it. You just have to. You just have to be yourself. And I'm like, shit, man, how do you know who? I don't even know who I am. Sometimes, like, I feel so, like, spaced out. I don't know, like, I know certain things about myself. Like, I'm really into photography and filmmaking. I've always been into entrepreneurship and self-development and self-help because I was just bullied a lot and I dealt with a lot of depression. And I always read books. I think that's one good thing about me is, like, I would always read on how to fix my problems, my issues, and stuff like that. I would always read up on it. I always read up on depression and anxiety and stuff like that. And it's helped a little bit, but it hasn't helped us as much as I thought it would. But they always thought it was just like, yeah, man, you just ask a girl out, see if she likes you, she doesn't like it. Which is true, but like, and they're like, oh, just always think about the other person. Listen to what they're saying. And I'm like, I do that, but I feel like I'm used, like, if people say I'm a great listener, but sometimes I'm not because I have ADHD and I get distracted. But I don't talk as much. I just I get distracted in my own brain. I get distracted in my own thoughts. I get distracted with everything, and just like I would never say I'm an incel because that word is just very, very toxic, and I don't like people who are incels who blame women for everything. Thing is, like, there are people who have approached, like, the reason why I'm doing this video and I'm not showing my face is because, like, I watched this video by this guy named the Forever Alone guy, and I noticed, like, how he was able to vent and get his stuff off his chest, and it would help him. And I just want to talk about my problems in a way that's constructive. You know what I mean? So, oh man, Milton's very nice. I don't blame women. I don't know, I blame a lot more men in my life. Just my dad. My dad grew up old school, very strict, didn't really show any emotion, didn't really say I love you, he was just this quiet person. And I remember when I was doing really bad at school because my ADHD and the bullying and the depression got to me, my anxiety and all that stuff at school. I was really bad at math, and I remember he would try to teach me how to be better at math, but his way of teaching was every time I fucked up, like, he would slap the shit out of me, man. I think that really affected me as well, and it still affects me to this day. And, I'm still kind of afraid of him, even though I'm like, he's like almost in his 70s now. He's almost in his 70s, and I'm like, I'm 30 now. I'm a big dude. I'm like 6'2", and I could easily beat the crap out of him. I do feel it sometimes, like, I just feel very angry at him for doing what he did to me. I think that really affects me a lot. I think the problem is I just don't give a crap about anything. I've just dealt with so much, like, negativity and anxiety, depression, so much bullying. definitely as a kid. I always felt like an outcast. Like I just never, like. And people have always been standoffish towards me because I guess I'm not so friendly. I'm friendly in the beginning, but then eventually I just don't want to talk to people, don't want to deal with people. The bullying just affects me a lot. Oh, it's so cool. It's like just driving by this horse stable. That's sick. Applebee line. Oh, I'm close to Burlington now. Yeah, so, what am I at now? 20 minutes. Yeah, I guess I'll try. I feel like I'm kind of spacing out a little bit too much talking about this, but yeah. So I grew up. My family moved to Canada. There was nobody except us. Like I had no cousins in Canada. My parents wanted a better life for our family. They did the right thing, moving to Canada. It was a good thing. Recently, just got some family. Some cousins moved to Canada recently. But from Pakistan, sorry, Pakistan. That's how you say it in the Pakistani accent. Yeah, so they moved, and I kind of have a hard time relating to them because I met them first time 2016. I went to Pakistan, and I'm very different. I'm not very Pakistani. I'm not very religious either. I'm not I don't consider myself Muslim. I consider myself agnostic. I don't really like religion. I think religion causes a lot of problems. It causes people to become part tribes and be us against them. And I remember I had a hard time. Most Muslims do not speak Arabic. A lot of Muslims come from South Asia. They come from India, Pakistan, or Bangladesh, or Indonesia. Indonesia has the most Muslims in the world, which is a surprising fact because it's in Southeast Asia. You would think they would be Buddhist or Christian. But actually, the majority of them are Muslim in Indonesia. But so a lot of them don't speak Arabic, and if you're a Muslim, you are taught to read Arabic. You're taught to read Arabic, but the problem is the majority of people who are Muslim don't speak Arabic, and you're taught to read it, and you don't have no idea what you're saying in this foreign language. And I was telling my mom, why don't we read this in Urdu, which is the language of Pakistanis, or English, because it makes more sense. We pray in Arabic, we do all this in Arabic. I'm saying all this stuff, I have no idea. And then when I finally read the Quran in English and I read that, I'm like, there's some really fucked up shit in this book. And I'm like, I don't believe in these things. I don't believe in what this book is telling me. Some stuff about the Jewish people, stuff with women. Okay, but I digress. I lost my faith in my early 20s, and religion is a very important part of Pakistani culture. It's very important. So I kind of felt disconnected from my family. My brother is the only person that he's not religious either. He's kind of like me. He's agnostic. Doesn't believe in religion. But that was always a divide in my family. My older brother, he was 15, I think, when he got here. So he was kind of set in his ways, and I became more Canadian. In my culture, I ate pork, I drink alcohol. Drinking alcohol was never it was never because of religion. It's just I wanted to drink alcohol because I wanted to cure my social anxiety, because I was such a shy person. and alcohol would make me feel good. And I still live at home. My parents kind of sucks 31. Thing is, in Pakistani culture, it's okay. It's okay to live at home until you're married. It's not like a big deal like in Western culture, like in Canadian culture. If you're still living at home at age 31, you're considered a weirdo. And I still think it's weird that I still live at home when I'm 31. My dad thinks I'm a fucking disappointment. I remember recently he said that it's like that. I'm sorry, I won't say my name. I won't say my name. I don't want to say my name. Sorry. He told me like my name. He's like, "Hey, son, you're almost like by the time I was your age, I was married and I had a kid already." And then I was just like, and I'm like, I don't know what to tell you. I just I don't know how to. To this day, I'm still afraid of him, so I don't know how to speak to him. You know, like stand up for myself. I just get bullied by my parents too, because I guess I know maybe I should, because like I'm still at home and got no job, no career. I'm trying to make my own photography business because I was just so tired of working for people who would take advantage of me. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna make my own business so I don't have to deal with people. But that's unhealthy because like if your business, you have to deal with people. People have to pay you to do your photos. That's one of the things that I'm glad I have hobbies. Hobbies like playing video games, obviously, because guy's a 31-year-old virgin. Obviously, he's got to play video games. I don't think there's a single virgin that's over 30 who doesn't play video games. You know what I mean? If you did a survey of people who are virgins over 25, majority of them, I would say 95% of them probably play video games, because it fills the void, right? It fills a void, right? It gives you something to do. Not having a girl in your life, not having a career. You could think we live in an age. Imagine living in the 80s when you don't have the internet, and you have to like be forced to think, be stuck with your thoughts, right? Imagine if I was 30 in the 80s, where you have to create your own imagination, you have to do your own, have your own thoughts to entertain yourself. But nowadays, man, you pull up Netflix, you pull up YouTube. You pull up, Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone. You don't have to be alone with your thoughts at all. You know what I mean? It's crazy to think. It's crazy to think that. But yeah, so I'm starting my own photography business, but like it's hard because if you're a socially anxious person and you want to be an entrepreneur, it is very hard to do, because you have to be an entrepreneur. You need to go out and get it. And if you're shy and socially anxious, it is very hard to do that. The thing is, a good thing about me is I push myself. I try to push myself. Go to meetup.com, go to different social anxiety groups. It does help a little bit, but it doesn't help as much as you think it would, Oh, that's a nice house. I love going for drives, honestly. Especially drives in the countryside, going through small towns. It definitely does clear up my brain sometimes. And talking, this makes it great as well. But yeah, honestly, I love video games. I love watching them. Videos. I love watching content about video games. I tried Twitch streaming too, but I didn't give up. I don't know. I just got lazy and just got demotivated, even though I was getting views. And I'm like, I love this shit. I love talking about video games. I love news content. I have so many hobbies. Like when you have women in your life, you just try to fill the time with different hobbies. Like I'm really into architecture, skyscrapers and tall buildings. And I go to a lot of websites, look at news about them, especially around Toronto. there's a website called Urban Toronto, which is very good. They talk about different skyscrapers being developed. Oh shit, this road is very bendy. Oh, this is really scenic. Man, why do we all live in cities, dude? I feel like people in small towns are way happier. Oh, sorry, I went over this bump. Or maybe they're more depressed. I don't know. Like, I feel like people are more friendly. They talk to each other. People in cities, they just ignore each other. They look at their phones. And just... Like, I remember I went on vacation with a group of friends. Oh, this is cool. Where am I? I think I'm in Guelph. Cool place to explore. Sorry. And I remember this guy came up to us. We're in Alberta, which is in Canada. And this guy came from... we were waiting in line to take the bus to Lake Louise, which is an absolutely beautiful lake in Banff, which is like this national park. Oh, I'm just crossing over the 401, which is this park. Which is this park in Alberta, right? Alright, come here. So this is this park in Alberta, and it's like this guy comes up to us. No social anxiety, just comes up to us, just like, hey, how's it going? And this guy's like very friendly. He's not wearing a shirt. He's like half naked. It's kind of weird, but he had so much confidence. He just came up to us like, hey, how's it going? Where you guys from? And we're like, oh, we're from Toronto. And then the guy was like, oh, cool, man. I'm from Smithers, British Columbia. And I'm like really into geography and into like, you know, just like, I love geography. The thing is, I have a lot of hobbies because I have no women in my life, so I like looking at stuff, right? And no friends, so I have all these interests. All this stuff is into, but I never tell people about this because I'm just always worried that people are going to tell me, like, oh, you're a nerd, you fucking like geography, and just like, it's annoying. So I remember Googling where Smithers is. Like, he was just like, oh yeah, it's a very small town. Oh man, Toronto, there must be a lot of people there. And I was like, and he was kind of like, and he was just so friendly. He was talking to us, and he was like, oh, Smithers. And then I Googled it afterwards. It was like 10,000 people in that town. I'm like, okay, it's a pretty small town. People just seem so friendly, so nice outside in the rural areas. I don't know why people say like, yeah, you go, because I'm Pakistani, so I'm brown. And people in the city always say, oh yeah, people outside are fucking racist, you know? Goddamn fucking racist people. Oh, I thought I saw a cop. Fucking racist people. And I can't do a good Canadian accent. Oh yeah, bud, they're fucking racist. Oh yeah. It's like, no, they're really friendly and nice. Sure, they do stare at you. I noticed that when you're a brown dude, people do stare at you if you're, you know, if you go to a small town in Ontario where I live. But as long as you're not fucking calling me like a packy or a fucking brown like faggot or something, or what you call it, like a sand nigger or something, you know. As long as they're not calling me that, I'm okay. Like, if they stare at me, this is probably the first time they've ever seen a brown person, right? First time they've probably seen like an Indian or Pakistani South Asian guy. So I don't take it as like an offense. They've just never seen. They've never been to. This guy's really tailgating my ass. Sorry, they've probably never seen somebody. They've probably never been to the Greater Toronto area, which is a very diverse area. There's people from all over the world that live in the Greater Toronto area, where I'm from. So they've never seen. They've never seen people like that, right? So like, I don't judge them from looking. Only time I judge them is if they look at me too much. That's kind of fucking weird. I've been in places where people just like, as soon as like you walk in, everybody turns around and looks at you. But they do that for 1 or 2 seconds and then they realize, oh, okay, it's rude to stare like that. But sometimes, like when I went to Quebec City, which is in a province in Quebec, and I remember this one time this guy fucking stared at me for like a good 2 to 3 minutes. It was fucking uncomfortable. This old dude. I just walked out of church in Quebec City, and this guy just stared at me for a good 2-3 minutes. I looked up and looked down just to see if he was staring at me. He kept doing that. That's the one time I felt fucking real racism. Like an uncomfortable stare. Mostly people stare because they're interested. Like, you know, they're, oh, like there's a brown guy here. That's interesting. You know what I mean? But yeah, they mostly do that. So, shit, I'm just like rambling. How long have I been going for? I'm at 36 minutes. You know, fuck it, I'll go for an hour. Okay, I'll talk about some of my escapades with the other sex. Thing is, I'm one of those dudes that had thing is, not like, the problem with incels is they don't have any self-awareness, and they think that, you know, women fucking suck and it's all about their looks. And looks are important, right? But I think having a fun, outgoing personality and being confident in yourself is probably one of the most important things. Because I've seen ugly dudes with fucking stunners all the time. And the thing with incels is they have no personality. That's their problem. That's it. Or they do have personality, but they're afraid of showing it. That is the problem with incels. Man, this is so beautiful. This area is so nice. Look at all these old towns. Yeah, so I was saying, the problem is they have no personality. And I'll be the first one to say, like, the reason why I'm still a virgin is because it's been voluntary. Because I've had so many girls interested in me. I've had, during the years, I had so many girls interested in me. So many girls. But I just kept pushing them off because I never felt worthy. I never felt like, you know, I'm like, what the hell? Why are you fucking interested in me? I'm a fucking loser. And that's a problem. The fucking low self-esteem. I'm like, oh, I couldn't finish college. I couldn't go to university because I was just fucking too dumb. I had a learning disability, got ADHD, got bullied my entire life. I still remember, this Arab girl, when I was in college. When I went to college in Canada, like the whole time she was interested in me. We were both virgins back then. I'm still a virgin. She's not a virgin anymore. She had a boyfriend, and we would hang out all the time. I met her through improv club. She was also a very depressed, anxious person. And the thing is, what happens is people like who are depressed and anxious, they find each other and they become kind of codependent. I'm kind of like driving aimlessly. I should probably find a gas station or something because I only have a quarter tank. These houses are so nice though. So they're both kind of codependent. She was very depressed and anxious as well, and I would go to her house and stuff like that. And I remember I didn't like her the first time I met her. I remember she had very big boobs. I remember that. That's the one thing that I found interesting about her. But she didn't dress nicely, and And I went to the improv club just to get better socially and just to be more fun and more spontaneous, you know. And there was a bunch of girls there that were pretty cute at that club. And I remember, this Arab girl. We would hang out a lot. I would go to her apartment constantly. We were pretty much like best friends. But after a while, I guess I started to develop some sort of feelings after her because we'd be hanging out so much. And it was just weird to, like, we would go to her apartment. And I remember one time I had to leave, and she's like, oh, I gotta change. Can you, like, can you put your, can you, like, cover your eyes, right? And she was like, oh, and then it's like, you're not looking through the mirror, are you? And I think she sounded like she was disappointed that I didn't look at her. And then I remember she was laying on the bed, and I just hugged her, and I think she wanted me to kiss me then. She wanted me to kiss her then. And I remember one time I went out and we were just hanging out, and we were about to go to like a pub night at the college, and we were another guy, this Indian guy, Indian Sikh guy, I forget his name. And I remember we were getting drunk, and then she would like start sitting on my lap, and she would sit on her lap. And I remember one time she just, I had like a soul patch. I still have a big beard right now, but I used to have a soul patch back then. And I remember we were talking, and then she went up and she kissed my, no, she didn't kiss it, but she grabbed my soul patch with her lips. And I don't know, I just felt so uncomfortable. Like, that is a sign right there that she wanted you to like kiss her, right? If she's getting that close to kiss your fucking soul patch, that's kind of weird, right? Like that is like literally a sign from heaven. I was gonna say my name again. I gotta think of a name for myself. I'll give myself like a Pakistani name. I'll give myself Muhammad. I'll call myself Muhammad. Hey Muhammad. So Muhammad, this is a sign. Actually, no, Muhammad. I don't like that name. Not Abdul. What's a good friggin' Muslim name? Fuck. You know, I'll just give myself like a regular white name or some shit. Joe. Hey Joe, this is a sign from God, even though I don't believe in God, that this girl is interested in you. She was sitting on your lap the whole fucking time. She like grabbed your soul patch. And I remember that same night we were trying to get into the bar, and she was hugging me, you know. She was like hugging me, you know. Before we got in the club, she was feeling like, I don't know, she was feeling weird or something, and she wanted to comfort. And then I remember that same night she started making out with some other dude, and I remember that fucking pissed me off. But I'm like, fuck, man, you had a chance. Like, why'd you do this? And they're like, oh, you're fucking... It's like, I can't win with myself. You're fucking, like, you don't deserve, you're a fucking loser. Why would any girl be interested in you? Oh, this girl's interested in you, why didn't you do something? It's like duality, like stupid duality. It's like, oh yeah, you're a fucking loser, you don't deserve any girl. And then it's like, oh shit, that girl's into you, why didn't you do something? Why did you tell me that you're a fucking loser? It's weird. It's really weird. And then I remember texting my brother, like, oh, I was drunk too, and I was just like, oh man, I don't know what I remember texting, but I just felt so lonely, and she was fucking totally into me. I didn't know then, even though I was just dumb. I was fucking naive. I was just really, really stupid. Really, really fucking stupid. And I remember, like, years later, after college was done, she moved to downtown Toronto, and I would go see her every now and then. But the only time she got a boyfriend and everything. She got this really tall brown guy with a beard and mustache, similar to the way I look, you know. Oh shit, it's a conference. Very similar to what I look, and I remember years later, this is like, we met up one time in Toronto, and I was talking about, like, yeah, man, I was telling her, I would tell about everything, my depression, my social anxiety. She was dealing with depression as well, and I remember she blurted it out, like, and I was telling her, like, I was still feeling lonely, like, we were talking about, I was speaking virgins and shit. But now she's not a virgin, and I was still a virgin at that time. I'm still a virgin. And she told me, like, I was totally into you, but you weren't into me. She said that. She blurted that out while we were talking, and I didn't know how to respond to that. And then I think that was the first time I realized it, that she was totally into me. I think it was the first time I realized it. Even though, like, all the signs prior, you know, her grabbing my soul patch, like, kind of like, I didn't realize that. Her, like, you know, holding on to me, sitting on my lap. I remember one time, oh my god, I have some more stories. I remember one time I did really badly in a test, and we would hang out at the Learning Commons, which is like this, like you know, we hung out there all the time. Me and her at the we hung out there all the time. And one time I did really badly on a test. I failed it, and then she sat on my lap, and I was just kind of like, fuck, man, I'm just realizing all this stuff right now. Shit, man. She sat on my lap. She's like, what do you want me to do? What can we do? What can I do to help you right now? And it kind of felt sexual, you know? Well, for some reason, I guess I was just like, I was still in that mode where, like, oh man, why would you want me and all this shit? Fuck. All this stuff is flooding, all these memories are flooding back to me. Damn, that is fucked up, man. She was, I don't know what, she was totally into me, but, like, I did not realize it. I did not realize it until that day. I did not realize it until that day that she was into me. When she said, oh, I was totally into you, but you weren't into me. I totally liked you. She just randomly blurted it out. And I was just sitting there, like, awkwardly. I'm like, huh? And I'm like, dumbass, man, look at all these signs. She literally hung out with you every single day at college. You guys did everything together. All these fucking signs, man. But you were just still like wallowing in, self-pity. In depression and anxiety. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, what the fuck, man? Like, I wasn't even trying because I just thought, like, oh, man, it was already in my brain, like, no girl's gonna want me. I'm a loser. I can't stand up for myself. All this shit. Oh, my God. How long have I been going for? 44 minutes. Jesus, man. Holy shit. Fucking hell. She literally blurted it out. I'll tell you about another one of my failed relationships. This one was not as this girl, she was this white girl from small town Ontario. A very small town outside of Hamilton. I forget the name of the town that she's from. She was very, very skinny, very, very tiny, like 4 foot 9, 4 foot 10 maybe, 4 foot 11. She had all these problems and issues. Again, another girl who dealt with bullying, depression, anxiety, and stuff like that. I met her at art history class. I saw her the first day. I sat right next to her in an auditorium that was completely empty. I was just trying to make friends, I guess. We had the exact same laptop. I remember that, yeah. We became friends. And then, sorry, I should go back to goals. I slowly started to develop a crush on her. And then I remember texting her. It was the ultimate, like, nice guy, douchebag move that I did. Again, I did all this stuff, made friends with the girl. I pretended I didn't like her. And then she started giving me attention, The shit that happens when you're a fucking manipulative, nice guy. And then she talked about how much of a friend I was. And then I remember one time we were texting. And she was like, oh, Zaid, you're my best friend. You always listen to what I have to say. She would talk about her boyfriends. The most typical, stereotypical fucking nice guy, douchebag, like, thing ever. Like, and then eventually I got fed up and like, oh, I'm not this nice guy. And I didn't say I was a nice guy. I was like, oh, I'm just really into you. I'm sorry, I just kept it secret. I wasn't able to express myself. And then she was obviously, knowing that what I know now, she was obviously very weirded out by that. And she's like, oh, this is kind of random. And she's like, I don't think of you like that way, because I never showed her any intent to be sexual. I remember one time we slept on the couch together, and I didn't want to make things uncomfortable with her, so I just let her take the entire bed, and she put her legs on my I slept on like whose apartment was this? This is my other friend's apartment. It's funny, it was the same apartment that my Arab friend was like the Arab girl was sleeping at, staying at. And it was kind of like, I could have probably made a move there, you know? We were both drunk. You know what I mean? We were both drunk, and then she kept, and I let her, sorry, I'm just turning around. I let her put her leg on me. We were both, I'm just turning around. I'm going back to the town that I was at because I don't want to keep driving aimlessly and then run out of gas. I gotta go pick up some gas soon. Because I don't know, I've been just driving regularly, just aimlessly. Just I didn't pick a direction to go to. I just start driving. So I remember we were dancing. She was grinding on me like I probably had a chance, but that was less of a chance than before. Like, I think initially I had a chance the first year or so, but I think eventually she's like, oh, he's just a platonic guy. He's not going to do anything. He's not going to make a move, so I'm just going to move on. She dated a guy in a fucking wheelchair. Fuck. She dated like so many brown guys, it's not even funny. She dated a guy in a wheelchair who was a brown guy. She dated another brown guy. The whole time she knew me. She dated all these fucking brown guys. And then I remember last time I saw her, I went to her birthday party. And she was dating this really buff brown guy. And I'm just like, wow, that guy is like really good looking. And I'm like, and Linnea, she's cute. I liked her, but she's not like the hottest girl, ever. Not like, I'm maybe my standard. But my standards are probably too high. Not anymore. I'd probably like, I don't know. But she dated this guy, and I don't know, this guy's really good looking. Like, I don't get it why he's dating Linnea. She's cute, but you could do probably better. But it's weird. And she dated this really short white guy. And then eventually she ghosted everybody from her friends. It was easy to ghost me because it was very awkward after those texts. We still were friends after those text messages. You know what I mean? Because I just decided, okay, it's not gonna work. I'm just gonna be friends with her. It's fine. But it was probably the wrong idea to do. I should have probably just not stayed friends with her. You know what I mean? So I have so many of these stories, man. So many of these fucking stories. Where I had all these girls interested in me, but I just didn't understand why. I'm still confused sometimes. I think it's just low self-esteem, man. It's just like very low self-esteem and social anxiety. So this is my early 20s. I kept going to college, kept dropping out because my social anxiety was so bad I couldn't be around people. And like this is one of my patterns that I realized recently. I just after a couple of months I just give up, where I just like socially isolate myself, and I socially isolate myself from everybody. And the good thing is I realize my patterns now. I guess that's good. Because if you don't realize your patterns, then you don't know. You don't know what you're doing wrong. You know what I mean? So a couple of years go by, I give up on school because I just wasn't good at it. I just wasn't good at school. My anxiety would cause me to not just drop out. Not even drop out, just like, where am I? Where the fuck am I? Sorry. I think I'm gonna cut this short soon, because I'm kind of lost. I was trying to get to Guelph, but this seems like a really small town. I don't know which town this is. I gotta fill up on gas as well. You know what? I'll leave it for another day. I'll leave it for another day and another story. But yeah, thank you guys for listening and watching. I'll probably post regularly, just my thoughts on stuff. So thank you guys for listening and watching, and have a good one. Gas station right there.